You never know what someone's going to do in their day to day.
Made me reevaluate myself.
He was sick. That's all.
Block this out. You lose yourself, but then you become the person you didn't want to become.
But seriously though, it is completely in your hands. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Loft. Today I'm with Austin, aka DJ Smooth. Also got a co-host, Eddie, DJ N9NE today. If you guys have seen this, we did a podcast. What was it?
It was December of last year.
Yeah, December. Yeah. So, coming up on a year, we did a podcast. So if you guys haven't seen that, go check that out. But today I wanted to have Austin on. Both of you guys have been killing it. You guys have been working with the Phillies a lot, which has been really cool. I wanted to dive into that as well. So like, how'd that start? Like, how'd you guys get into that?
Well, that's where I got an email back in February, and that was like 2 months after we did the podcast. Yeah. They just wanted an official DJ. They wanted one. They didn't mention like a team or anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, of course. I was like, yes. But then I was also like, oh my God, how am I going to do like 81 games in a row?
Yeah.
Like that's a lot with your other gigs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because, there's 10 game home stretches that are like back to back to back to back.
Right.
So I was like, okay. So it worked out, make a long story short, that I was able to develop a team. Yeah. Because Pauly D actually called me 2 days later after the Phillies and was like, I need you full time. Mm-hmm. I was like, I need a team of DJs for the Phillies. So I hit up the guys I thought were more than appropriate for it. Yeah. And Smooth was obviously one of them.
That's awesome.
And luckily the Phillies were cool with it.
That's really cool.
I'm sure they wanted one at the time when they thought about it.
Yeah.
But luckily there was a group
It makes
of guys.
more sense to have multiple. I mean, and I want to say this too, like, because like I said, I've been seeing on social media, I've kind of been like working my way up in like the city. I remember when I had Eddie on, like I started, I was kind of just starting fresh out. And I've been seeing on social media, I'm like, you're the quietest dude ever, but you know the most people ever. Like I thought it was like the coolest thing ever. But I just wanted to dive in and kind of get into it, like how you got started and like where you're from originally.
Yeah, so I'm definitely a little bit of a quiet killer, but I grew up in Bucks County.
Okay.
So I actually used to work in the Northeast.
Oh, wow, really?
Before high school and college. I used to work at Steve's.
Oh, Steve's Butcher Steaks?
Yep.
Oh, so that's why you were there.
The one on Bustleton?
I actually worked at all of them.
Oh, shit.
I was at Comley. I was at Bustleton. So by marriage, my cousin is actually Steve through like my mom's side.
I did not know that.
I'll be damned.
Yeah, I think it was Friday night. I was at Union Tap and I saw a story. I'm like, that's right next to Tap. I'm like, yo, come through. He's like, oh, we just left.
I met up with Tonka.
Oh, did you?
He messaged me as I was like getting on back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was on it. Yeah, he was heading out. I was like, oh shit. Yeah, man, like you're absolutely killing it, and I just really wanted to get into like how you start. So you working at Steve's, and then so when did you pick up your first like mixer? Like how did you get started with like playing?
So I actually went to Kutztown. So my first semester there, I would just I always loved music, but I would just go to parties and be like, in the corner on the iPod.
Right.
Like,
that's how it starts, right?
Yeah, but it was I never thought I would actually DJ. And my boy was like, my second semester, he's like, it was Black Friday. He's like, you should just buy a mixer and DJ.
Yeah.
And I thought it, like, as a joke, I went out to like Best Buy.
Yeah.
I think it was a Mix Track Pro. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Little,
oh my God, yeah.
Little $300 mixer.
Yeah.
Probably less, honestly. Yeah. And I sucked, but I would just like fade in and out of songs.
Yeah, that's how it starts.
And then, throughout the years, I've obviously developed, a good knowledge base of like how to mix in and out of songs.
Yeah.
So it started, I did like frat parties. I did, everybody has to start somewhere.
Yep.
So I did the local bar, Shorty's.
Right.
And kind of just worked my way up. And then I had a gig in AC. I guess it was the summer of like 2015 maybe.
Okay.
I just brought out like literally all my friends.
That's awesome.
So it was, it was cool. And like I said, I wasn't very good at the time.
Right.
So it was, it's always been a learning experience. I always feel like you can get better at something.
Right. How nervous were you for your first like big gig?
Not really that nervous. I mean, I've always, especially in college, I played for, large crowds. Just
right.
It kind of just felt like another house party.
Still that straight face, probably his first gig. Cool, calm, collected.
Dude, like I said, like I remember I came out and saw you at Ladder one time. I think my friend Alex invited me out. I met you like in passing. Like you meet a million people, I get it. Like it's like that's how it is when you're a DJ, so you don't remember. But I remember meeting you and like this dude's so quiet. And like in all of your flyers, you have the same like just like chill face. I'm like, yeah, that's I love it.
What you see is what you get.
Exactly. But I mean, like, and I heard you play, and obviously I heard Eddie play. Like you guys are awesome. So something I wanted to hit on too is I think your tailgates are really cool, and that actually inspired me to like start getting my neighborhood to go out to tailgates. And you guys have built that up so big, and you guys have sponsors now, and you have a lot of your friends DJ with you. So like, what got you into doing like a tailgate, like starting that up?
We did that in 2017, their Super Bowl run. That was like the big, I guess, starter for that.
Right.
So we did one for the Falcons game. And it was good. It wasn't like it is now, but the Vikings game was crazy because they had all that momentum like going for the Super Bowl.
You picked a great time to like start the tailgate.
Facts.
And it was just
such a great run.
Literally just throwing a party. It's not there's not much else to it, from a concept standpoint. But it was all people that just wanted to party, and obviously everybody loves the Eagles in this area.
Yeah. Was it always Lachi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to do it in the parking lot, and then they had. I don't know if you remember this, but they had, it was people from Delco, of course, but they had a stripper pole.
Really?
And they ruined our tailgate for 2 times in a row we got shut down.
Really?
So the cops, I guess, were blocking where like everybody goes like through the parking lot.
Right.
And basically told us to shut down. Like they were just like,
and this
back
is
your
what?
shit up, turn your music off. That's
Really?
it.
What time was it at? Like the middle of the tailgate, like early, or is it towards the end?
Halfway, not even halfway through.
Really?
Just pack your shit up.
Jesus Christ, that sucks. And how'd you pivot from that? You just
we have that grass area now.
Yeah.
By Xfinity,
Mm-hmm.
where the porta potties are.
Yeah.
So we just kind of like took that area. And I try to do as many games as possible, but it's a lot of work. And like I'm glad, like I respect that you're starting to do it, and just for anyone that wants to like start doing tailgates, it's a lot of work.
I think it's really good to get your name out there, and I realize it's a lot of work because I remember my first one I did was probably a few weeks ago.
What time did you get there?
Dude, I got there at 11 a.m. and
For
the
a
lot.
1 o'clock game.
Yep.
So did you even get in the lot?
I did actually. So I got there, but I was sitting in line, and because I had a bus coming,
Right.
And it was for a birthday. And so I brought I brought all my stuff, my 2 speakers, my sub, my generator, all of my little ass Sonata, by myself. And so I loaded it up, and then I had everybody meet me in the lot. And I got there early because I wanted to get in line, but it turns out people just skip you in the line anyway to get into the tailgate. So I'm like, why am I even waiting? But so I got there like 11. I set up, had everybody show up, and it was a great time, but it is a lot of work.
I just to give you some perspective, I get there at 5 a.m. for a 1 o'clock game.
Do you really?
He also has cops watching his spot for him.
Oh, wow, really?
To make, I could be exaggerating, but
No, you're not.
no, I thought it was true. But they literally like hold his spot down for him, that first spot, like right behind the stage there,
That's sick.
where the grass starts.
That's
of the
awesome.
parking lot.
My buddy's uncle was one of the sergeants for the parking lot. So
See,
he kind of just like pulls up and waits. But
Yeah.
if you don't get in there by like the lot's open at 6 for a 1 o'clock game, so it's always 7 hours before.
So you're right. So the game that I did, it was the Eagles Cowboys game. That was an 8 o'clock game. That's
so
where I
11
got.
o'clock's
Okay,
perfect.
that makes much sense.
No, I was gonna
That
say
makes
no.
much sense.
So I got there as early as I could, and then got like lot in, got a moving spot.
So that was the one that I believe it was me, Rhino, Kurt. That was like complete chaos that whole day because
That was the longest day in my
if
life.
you remember, even at 11 o'clock, the lines were down to 95.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
The lots to like 2 o'clock.
Yeah, it was rough. I mean, I was lucky and fortunate enough to be able to pick my spot in the lot, but I remember I tried doing a 1 o'clock game and woke up late, and I was like, yeah, just got chalk it. Like, it's not even worth it at that
I
point.
don't even want to do this anymore.
Nah, it's not even fun at this point. Like,
Yeah.
tailgates are already set up. Everyone's doing their thing anyway, so.
People are super like territorial too. Like I'll send people over to our area to like hold it down.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Someone will just plop in.
Oh,
there
they don't
and
care.
stay.
Right.
No. And that, and that's like it. I mean, it is what it is, I guess. But I don't know. For me, like I like to I like combine. Like my friend Christian, he's a DJ. I'm like, yo, just come to my tailgate if you want to do a set or something. Like I don't care. It's less work for me. I already set up. It doesn't matter anyway.
Right.
So like so how did you start getting so you started in 2017, but were you consistent throughout those years?
As far as just the
Tailgates
tailgates concerned?
Yeah. Were you like going like in and out kind of? You're just kind of.
Yeah, we did. They haven't really been too relevant as far as like home playoff games.
Right. Oh
but
yeah,
for the
it's
most
true.
part,
They weren't
with
good.
the openers and like the home opener, it's always been a good one to do. But yeah, we usually do at least 4 or 5.
Right.
I like to think with him being involved in the city so much in Center City with DJing that like the word of mouth is crazy in terms of like if you see who's promoting, the way he promotes his social media too for his tailgates is just like, I like to think it's just like your nightclub stuff too.
Right.
Yeah, it's the same idea.
Everyone picks up on it so fast. It's like going to your favorite club. It's like, I want to go to my favorite tailgate.
Exactly.
So like he wins.
Exactly. And that's the thing too. Like, and I'm starting to learn too, like you have to invest into it. Like I noticed like you have great quality pictures and everyone posts their pictures. Like I've noticed that and it looks really good and it's very legitimate. And I think it's also obviously great. But I've definitely learned that, like the investment side of it, where you have to put more into it because like that's where the coverage comes from, and that's where you have the news showing up, and that's where you know what I mean, stuff like that.
Yeah, one thing I'll give Eddie a little bit of credit for this, but I mean he does a lot of his own artwork.
He did a few of my flyers, dude. Your work's fucking awesome. It's
you.
awesome. It's so good, man. I'm very impressed.
Since our last podcast, it was great that we were able to actually do things for you. I was able to do.
You hooked me up. My friend Gigito Jones, man. You're hooking me up, man. It was good, man. It's really good.
When you can do your own artwork, one, obviously you save money when you're starting out, but two, it's just another skill that you can add to your repertoire. You know, like that's my next goal is to learn Photoshop, learn Adobe.
Right.
You know, so
Great.
I want to edit.
I mean, it's taking you out of business, dog.
I want to edit mainly videos, not necessarily do my own flyers, but I'd like to get more content.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you just need someone to film it.
Right, and cut it up.
Exactly.
So I think if any advice would be, you know, as far as like content goes, you know, just get as much as you can.
Well, like I can edit and do all that stuff, but it's just a matter of like I can't DJ and film at the same time. I can't capture those moments. You know what I mean? So that's like my goal coming up. So speaking about the city, like you started to really get into there. I know Eddie, play there whenever you can. Like you're like Xfinity and stuff like that, which we'll get into in a second. But I know you've been doing like tradesmen's and like so. What are your usual spots in the cities?
Thursday right now, every Thursday is tradesmen's. Yeah. And then as far as Sundays go, I'm doing
Winston a lot, right?
Yeah, the Winston for the game, and then I'll go to Barstool and pop over for the after party.
Yeah, well, congratulations. You're going up. Were you at Barstool or you're going there?
So they just opened actually last weekend in Scottsdale.
So were you there for that?
Not yet.
So you're going there, right?
The 16th and 17th.
Right. Well, that's awesome, dude. Congratulations for
I'm going too.
Are you? You're gonna go show some love?
Yeah.
Let's go, man. That's
I should just figure that out today.
News to me.
I got it worked out.
Look at that Loft exclusive. Eddie's gonna be at Barstool. That's really cool, man. So
Not to DJ, just to chill.
just chill, kick it. Yeah. So like, how'd you get into that? Like, to find it, like getting into Barstool like that.
So the guy that does all the booking, shout out to Downtown Talent. He goes by Coleman Seaflow.
Okay.
So he's a DJ as well, but he does, you know, different markets and different bookings at different places. But he kind of plugged all of us at Barstool in Philly.
That's awesome.
And then we got some recognition. You know,
It was pretty. I'm sorry not to cut you off. It was pretty interesting how it came about because I saw it via Twitter. I'm not sure how you got the call for it, or no. Actually, I do know how you got the call for it based off of my story. Seaflow just put up. I followed him for years because he's a man of like really good edits that he posts like for free. Right. New York guy always knows like what goes where, what's good, what. Yeah. Anyways, he was like, "What are the best? Somebody name me the top 5 DJs in Philly." So whoever responded to him, he took the most consistent people that were on the list and hit them up personally. So of course, like in my list, Smooth was on it.
Absolutely.
And he had to have been in other people's too. So did Seaflow call you personally?
Yeah,
oh yeah.
he
So that's what
me.
happened. For sure.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
There were a couple managers that worked at other places that we've all worked at also that were like kind of pushing for us too. So
yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, it's funny. Yesterday, I was DJing at Celtic, or Sunday night I was DJing at a place called Celtic. It's a local bar. But all my friends go there. It's a good time. And one of the girls there is home for Thanksgiving. She goes to Penn State. And you ever hear of the Basement?
Yeah.
At Penn State.
Used to be called Indigo.
Yeah.
No.
So I'm talking to their manager now. I might start getting some gigs there soon, which would be
fun.
I've actually never been to Penn State to like drink actually. So I'm excited to go there and play.
Basement's fun. I popped in there last time Pauly did a show we were out there. We did Champs around the corner.
That's pretty cool.
So it ended early enough to where we can go down there and hang out.
I was always sick. I always had all my boys would go up to Penn State
Yeah.
when I was in college. I never had any friends that would let me like stay anywhere.
Really?
They're all like, "We're going to Penn State this weekend."
Yeah, I bet you would now.
See, that's where I met Scooter back in 2010. He was doing Wednesdays down the street from Indigo or the basement.
Yeah.
So if you played at Scooter spot, which was Cell Block at the time, you couldn't do Indigo. It was like a
Bro,
conflict of interest.
one or the other type.
So
of
I was
thing.
never allowed in the building with
Damn.
my laptop.
Damn, man. No, but that's awesome. So like, I wanted to get into like, so you have a wedding company as well. So how did you get that started as well?
I started back in 2016 doing weddings. I did like 3 or 4, and then it's kind of just snowballed from there. So
Right.
The wedding business is different, and I feel like a lot of DJs think it's not cool to do weddings.
Well, they're obviously
Tripping.
dude. That's where the money's at, dude.
There's a lot of money in weddings. There's a lot of connections that you'll meet by doing weddings. You know, party planners. There's venues like Chess Cafe. You know,
Right.
they have a whole catering company. So it's a lot of word of mouth. But I DJ like I'm at a club when I do a wedding.
That's how you kind of. I was gonna ask that because I
So-
know a lot of wedding vibe, like a lot of wedding companies. I'll say like a certain vibe. They like the Bruno Mars, the usual suspects,
Sure.
you know. But I could tell like you do like a little bit of a twist.
Like
to your-
we're playing like Booyah, you know, like Showtech. We're playing high energy EDM, but we're also. I start off with Motown, you know what I
Right,
mean? Like I'll
exactly,
do a set of oldies and keep the older people happy, but then I'll go into
I think towards the end you work your way in.
like we'll still play Beyonce. We'll do some
You
Bruno
usually
Mars,
mix it in, right?
but it's different.
Yeah.
It's a different vibe when you know how to create energy in the room and transition from song to song.
And it's funny because you don't realize it till you get behind a mixer. Like, you know, people think it's easy, and then you get behind a mixer. Like, you have to keep a show. You're doing a show.
Yeah.
You know. I know from your crazy experience you've had recently, we were just a Noto, weren't you?
Yeah, Saturday.
How was that going?
Gosh, what?
That's gonna be. I'm gonna be there Wednesday.
I mean,
tomorrow.
literally unbiased opinion. I haven't seen Noto like that in a long time.
Really?
It's like, oh my god, Pauly just draws. You know what I mean?
He brings a great crowd out.
Yeah, it was
People are
electric,
there to
dude.
rage too. I feel like when he shows up.
Yeah. It was just everyone was just on his side the entire time. Like every person in the building.
That's really
It was
cool.
incredible. Yeah.
How do you think he got that? Like, obviously from the show, but like, do you think it's just like, what do you think attributes to him being such a draw?
His consistency. He's been the same DJ he ever was since he started 2010.
Yeah, never.
And he
switched
doesn't have a bad rapport. He's a great dude.
Right,
You know, like there's no weird like rapper-esque type like situations that he's been under for whoever.
No drama.
Any celebrity crap. You know what I
He's
mean?
a loyal dude too.
He's a loyal
He's been
dude too.
playing
Yeah.
some of the same places for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was at Harris Pool for 12 years.
That's
you know,
insane. Yeah.
but no, it's just his consistency and like girls like to see him, you know,
Yeah.
and dudes like to go where girls are, you know, and dudes used to watch the show too. So
Yeah.
like, you know, you'll catch that 35, 36-year-old there that was watching the first season, you know.
It's a little mix of
So his
everything.
demographic is incredible. It's
Yeah.
just a wide range of ages, you know. It's cool.
Yeah, he does a pretty good show. And,
Yeah, man.
And so, getting into Xfinity, speaking of good shows, I mean, you guys are at PBR, right? You guys play PBR a lot, right?
Eddie does the
Yeah.
after parties, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've been
Yeah.
they've been pretty cool. So how's that been like?
It's been great because the home games they've been winning, really.
I know.
You know?
Even the Phillies too, like for a while. Too.
Yeah, I mean, just it was funny because they just got beat when they played Washington.
Yeah, I was there,
And it was weird being in PBR. I'm like, damn, I've been a spoiled brat because now I
Right.
got to play
Yeah.
after a loss.
You realize that, right? So
Yeah.
like, and how have your Sunday like parties been? Like, the Vesper, Winston, like.
They've been great. So I've been at pretty much for the last 5 or 6 weeks. I've been doing the Winston, and then I'll do Barstool after the game, and it picks up. So like
for
8
sure.
or 9 o'clock. It's just
Yeah,
it's a party. So
exactly. So
people are. It helps when they win, of course.
yeah, we've been very spoiled with that. Like Ed said,
Yeah,
we've been
for
very
sure.
like, lucky. Like,
That whole 3-week, 4-week span where the Phillies were, on
dude,
top of the world.
I killed my liver. I killed my liver. Like, I do.
PTSD is real right now.
I dude,
man.
I had to take off I think it was after the Phillies lost. I think that Sunday or whatever. Like after that, I had to take off. I was like, that Sunday, I'm like, dude, I need just like a minute to chill. Like, do
Yeah.
you ever find yourself in that position where like you're just like exhausted
every
from playing?
week. right now.
It's like part of the job, I guess, right? So
Yeah,
do you
yeah.
drink a lot when you're playing, or you kind of just casual?
I don't really drink that much.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have a few. Eddie see me drunk.
Absolutely, yeah. But
No,
but I feel like you're literally the same dude every single time.
No,
but
he's super professional.
yeah, exactly.
You have to be.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, drinking. I think I know for me, like when I'm playing, it helps me. I get more dialed in. As weird as that sounds,
Sure.
But also too, like just being able to handle people like coming up to you the whole time, like talking to you. You're
Yeah,
like,
man.
You're like you can handle it a little bit better.
The social shot here and there is always nice.
Yeah.
Getting involved with all your friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just not an accession. You know?
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. You can have a couple drinks.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you get
Yeah.
belligerent, that's a problem.
Exactly. So like, what got you? So obviously you wanted to get into DJing because you're on the aux and you like playing music. But what kept you DJing? Like, what kept you into it?
I think just my passion for music. I've always, had good taste in music. I like to think,
Right.
and I'm passionate about, my life and obviously my livelihood. So it turned into more than just a hobby.
Right.
So I think that's kept me motivated. I like new challenges, and
Yeah. Is that like your full time now?
yeah.
Oh hell yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I do it
So
full-time.
during the day, what do you just kind of like canvassing, finding new like places to play, or?
A lot of like, behind the scenes stuff like paperwork and
Yeah.
a lot because we have a lot of events going on in the
Right.
background.
Right.
So weddings, corporate events,
Right.
private parties, all that. So I'm
Yeah.
doing all the phone calls.
The not so fun stuff.
I can attest to that. I've been in the car with him going from A to B. I'm like, another wedding call in the car.
So how does that?
Nah.
So does that ever get in the way of like your personal life? Like, do you find that, or do
All
you
the
kind of are you able to mix the two? You think?
Yeah, I mean, personal life, like for me, it's become like, especially with COVID and everything, to like
Yeah.
recover. Now I'm more motivated than ever.
Exactly.
obviously,
Yeah,
since-
I think all DJs kind of have that, right? Where they kind of went away and then they came back.
Yeah.
Now they're all feeling like they want to really get out there.
The wedding stuff, I feel like, is never a 9 to 5 in terms of like taking calls. When you are a successful wedding company like his, it's just, I like to think, or I hate to think, that the calls are nonstop.
Right.
A bride can call you at 10 o'clock at night because she panicked about something, and like it's your job to figure it out, and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's balancing the wedding company is what would stress me out the most, because I'm not involved really. Like, I more like freelance it out and stuff like
Right,
that.
yeah.
But like it's all day, every day. I'd imagine.
So obviously with this business, so so Smooth Entertainment, correct?
Yep.
So do you have other DJs who work for you as well?
Yeah, I would say I like to keep it like I would never prevent anyone from making extra money on the side. Like, no one's exclusive with me.
Yeah.
But I have guys that I rely on pretty heavily for weddings.
Right. Do you find yourself ever like, because I found that relying on people can be pretty tough. Do you ever find that being an issue?
Yes and no. I mean, it depends. Like, a lot of the guys that do weddings for me,
Oops, sorry. No, there you go.
they've been working with me since I started.
Right.
Especially some of the guys that have been doing weddings before I even started.
Right.
So I mean, we have a really good group of guys, even
Yeah.
for nightlife. Like, I feel like I trust everyone at this time.
Right. Who would you say is your core group of guys?
So for weddings, I have a couple MCs. I got Mike, Bill, and do you know DJ Finesse?
Mm-mm.
So he MCs and DJs.
Okay.
And then I got Frank Nitty,
Okay.
and I think that's it. But we've been adding,
You have
like,
a solid core, though.
slowly adding people as needed. you
Right.
know, and
Yeah.
and I think Tonka's actually done some weddings for us recently as
Yeah,
well. So.
I saw him at Xfinity actually. I didn't say hi to him. I see him from like just from your stories.
I was
and
gonna say,
stuff.
have you guys met?
Not yet.
No? Oh, okay.
Nah. So I want to start. I want to meet him, and
Yeah.
I haven't met Weiss yet. I know of him. I've talked to him. I remember I reached out to him a while ago about like getting involved. But yeah, I definitely want to start meeting everybody.
Definitely drink at Surfside with Tonka, right?
Yeah. good.
He's
Buy
like
him a Surfside.
Yeah.
Tonka Tees.
Yeah, Tonka Tees.
I'll let him tell you about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Well, I know you had Seattle Ice sponsor your tailgate, so I know Santilli and all them. They're great guys.
Yeah, those guys are the man.
Their brand's crazy.
They literally show up squad deep. Like,
I know.
Yeah, it's so dope.
man,
Dude, it's
like,
so funny. It's all of like our neighborhood. Like it's just all just showing up, having a good time.
I just thought I just think it's so gangster how they just made their own liquor.
Well, if you hear this,
drink, I
there's
should
no,
say.
their well, yeah, it is good. It is
Yeah.
liquor basically,
Yeah.
and like, their story is crazy, man. It's just like they posted crazy shit and they collaborated and they make a really great drink. And
Yeah,
it's
such
all
a
over the place.
gangster move.
It is sick.
brand's legit. I mean, they're literally everywhere. Like,
I know.
Just when I'll look at a new bar or a new club and they're like, they're posting
If
before
you're
I
on-
even see.
Yeah,
anything about
if you're on their socials, like I remember Santilli was saying that like it's part of their job is to go and drink with people at the bars. And I'm like, that's a
Hell yeah.
I'd be 300 pounds.
exactly. So I guess diving into like I wanted to hit on the shore a little bit, down the shore. So where you been playing at down the shore, like in the summer?
So we actually did together, but we did.
I want to talk about that story. This is how professional he is, and I'm not.
Yeah. So the Deauville.
That my dad was actually. I don't want to interrupt you. My dad was there. He's like, yeah, they had this really great DJ on. I was like, oh, was it like Nine or Smooth? He's like, yeah, it might have been the Smooth guy. I was like, hell yeah. I was like, I fucking wish I wasn't there. I wish I was there.
Yeah, we threw a party with Aperol all summer long on Sundays.
Yeah,
and it was great turnout. It's obviously on the water, so
yeah. I heard it's a beautiful place, right?
From the outside looking in, for me I was always the OD guy in CIO, DJ
Ocean Drive. Yeah.
So when he was doing that on Sundays, I was like, this is amazing to be outside and not like
in a little.
Yeah. I mean, I know the Ocean Drive has the outdoor area and stuff like that, but to be on the water there, I'm like, this is amazing.
I know it's a good little beach club.
And I think when I was there, was it your 4th time there?
Yeah,
I think.
Fourth
Okay.
or fifth, yeah.
Of course, it was a nightmare because I was there. So but it wasn't anything with like,
no, just having a good time.
It was just, you could tell that story in terms of that.
I want to hear this.
You want me to tell it?
You gotta tell it now.
You want
man.
9 to tell? Okay. He started. I think did you have guests every single time?
Yeah. So
okay.
Kurt and I had started it, so we do another account. Yesterday's, it's owned by the same.
Okay.
So they kind of just wanted us to like partner up with some of the guys that work with me. So it was Kurt and I think Rhino and I, and then 9.
Yeah,
and myself did one, so you could tell.
Yeah, there was. I mean, there's families there. There's a lot of his friends are there and stuff. Right. It was cool out there. So we kept it very up tempo musically. Like he kind of like gave me the runaround. Like, listen, you can look in front and realize what you should be playing and stuff like that. So it was cool in that sense. We did 30 minutes on, 30 minutes off, and like people are really starting to dance and like get into it a little bit. So there was no hard EDM drops or anything like that.
Yeah,
but I was getting trigger happy with my horn. But that's a small detail.
He does it, and girls are like,
yeah, DJs in Belmar. Like, so it was cool, in that sense. So he was getting a text like, "Yo, so after that, I played the YMCA."
Yeah.
Okay, because it was going to go into like this tech house, cool,
right.
But it's the original first,
right?
So he got a text. He's like, "Yeah, tell your buddy to lay off however he said it. He's like, tell your buddy to lay off that horn or turn that horn off." And this song sucks.
No way. Oh my God, dude, that's fucking hilarious. If you're like, it's leading into something.
One, he's not wrong. 2, like, give it a chance. It's gonna get into something.
Sure. Yeah, that's so funny.
But I think there was just neighbor issues there for being outside and raising hell with music and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the one thing to think about when you're playing outside, because it's such a beautiful like environment, I'm sure, but like you have neighbors.
It was such a great vibe, man. It was almost like the best vibe I had seen in the summer, like that's even playing. And then I think maybe halfway into the shift was like a 3-hour gig shift, I think, or 4 hours. It
was like 3 to 6.
Yeah, we had to shut off the music right in the middle.
Really?
And it like devastated everyone.
Damn.
You know what's crazy though? And this isn't just like Strathmere, Sea Isle, Avalon. Like some of these people, first of all, it was in the middle of the day. So it was like at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Can't really get mad during the day, middle of the day.
People are calling the cops. Like they're a little over the top.
Yeah.
And from an owner standpoint, how do you like? I understand where they're coming from because they don't want to piss their neighbors off because at the end of the day, they're their customers, but 2, they're going to call the cops on them every time if they keep pissing.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's a hassle.
Yeah.
So what we're looking to do at some of these venues is maybe get like a more of a surround sound system that like points to the ground or
like keeps it enclosed.
At the Deauville, it bounces off, the walls and the water, and I feel like people from the other side of the bridge were like, you can hear the music.
You kind of have to like keep it enclosed somehow. I don't know if there's a way they can do that, but because it sounds like it's a great venue, right?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah,
the food's good.
Yeah.
Pull your boat or jet ski up.
Yeah.
So I got to mention at the end his professionalism versus mine. The GM there was the middleman. He was the messenger.
Right.
That
YMCA sucks.
So he was the one that was relaying everything, and he came over to us when the music was off, and he was like, just put some music on low, and that was when he told us to stop the music.
Right.
I was like, low. I was like, just put on your house system.
Yeah.
Why are we going to keep playing?
At that point.
And Jesus. Smooth looks at me and he's like, just let me do the talking from here on out.
Just shut the fuck up. Dude, that's so funny, man. That's awesome.
I could see, but he was like not defeated, but obviously upset.
But
'cause,
kind of,
like,
yeah. Like,
we had this party rocking and everybody was dancing.
Yeah.
And then all
I
of
mean,
a
it's
sudden
the-
we have to shut it off.
it's the worst feeling in the world, man. Like,
right.
dude, like I remember like in my Temple days, I would DJ in my basement, and I remember we had like we play. It was like 2017 actually, and we put on Dreams and Nightmares, and it was probably 20 minutes after we got the cops showed up. It's like it just sucks. Like you want to always say we don't have the good time. Exactly.
I'd almost rather the GM say, "Listen, you can keep playing. We just can't pay you." I'd be like, "All right, fine. Let's keep the party going."
That would have been sick.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Because that kind of goes back around with me personally to the tailgates. Like I think they're so fun. I don't need to get paid for them.
no,
Like,
you
I don't mind.
you want to throw those parties.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
People always ask too, like, I'm not saying that I think it's a joke, but like they'll ask me like, why do you like you're DJing for free? Like, how do you monetize the tailgates? And I feel like one from a brand perspective, you know, it helps me get more exposure. And, like,
Exactly.
people have come up to me directly and also like through my website, and I've been like, I was at your tailgate, can I book you for my wedding? So it's not a direct monetization, but it's like at the end of the day, there's some kind of monetary value coming from somewhere.
It's kind of like a showcase in a way.
You're
Yeah.
throwing your own party. Why? Like you want to throw your own
If
party.
any DJ that's in it for the right reasons will understand why you do it and will understand why someone does a tailgate, because it's like that rush you get, and that's when you're even at a tailgate or you're at a club or wherever you're playing. It's that rush you get when everyone's vibing to your music.
sure.
There's no monetary value that can be placed on that.
Yeah.
And that, I think for all, like speaking for everyone, I think there's no better feeling than controlling a party.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
everyone's vibing to your
It is.
music,
It's the best feeling in the world, especially when you know how to do it and you're very comfortable with it. So kind of getting into, I want to dive a little bit back into to the beginning almost. So when did you start feeling like you were picking up steam or picking up momentum?
It's a good question. I would say probably in Manioc, we used to play at Mad River.
Oh, yeah.
I would do
Mad River, yeah.
like Mad River Thursdays with Brosco. Or I would do, you know, Palooza was a huge thing.
Yeah, I heard Palooza. I went to one Palooza. It was
Nuts.
crazy, man.
They
Yeah,
probably
they were
had a
lit.
couple thousand people throughout the day.
Insane. RIP. But it's crazy, man. So how did you pivot out of Manioc? Because I know, because you were there every Thursday, right?
Pretty much. I mean, I actually lived in Manioc for probably 5 years, so I would just play there, brew pub,
Right.
Cuddy's actually as well. So I had my spots there, and then actually same ownership, but I used to like start at Ladder, so that's kind of where I got started.
Oh yeah, Ladder's a great spot. Was it just somebody you met through like
A lot of the staff worked at both places, so
Okay.
I kind of just met everybody through Mad River, and then kind of segue to doing Ladder.
Just kind of like just working your way up with who you know, building connections. Like what's like a piece of advice you would give to a DJ who's like up and coming and sees 9 and sees, you know, Mike Lowry and sees you guys like playing in these city spots? Like what's some piece of advice for them not to necessarily take your gigs, but to like just, you know, how do you get your name out there? How does a DJ get their name out there?
I think one, perfect your craft.
Yeah.
And that's most important, because, you know, if you can't DJ, you're not going to be playing anywhere.
Build your confidence as well.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, absolutely.
And network.
Yeah.
You never know who you're going to meet, but, you know, don't burn any bridges. I think that's
for sure.
Because there's a lot of DJ drama in the community. So
I'm luckily not in that, but I do hear things happen.
I think just kind of be yourself and don't get involved with,
right.
you know, the not just the drama, but don't get involved with, you know, things that you're not really comfortable doing right away. Like there's a lot of DJs that want to play at the best places or you know, the best spots, but they're not really ready. So I think, you know, practicing and like making mixes and go out and hear other DJs. Like that's how I learned. I would always, you know, I've not always been close with Eddie, but when I first started out, before we were friends, like I would go see him, Sat,
right.
You know, some of the guys that have been doing it for a long time.
Right. So who are some DJs that you look up to? I'm not sure if any like big DJs that you look up to, or even people like your peers. Like who do you look up to in terms of that?
That's a good question. I mean, as far as like,
he was like,
I'll give him some credit.
No.
I think. I mean, I love like Tiesto's like one of my favorite.
Yeah,
DJs
he's sick.
of all time.
Over me?
He's like the GOAT. I feel like
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like song after song after song, and he's still doing it.
Yeah, just great. Yeah, his remixes are great too.
Yeah, but he knows how to work a crowd, like, and obviously I've been to festivals, so. You know,
Oh, you do go to festivals?
I used to, not as much.
Yeah, yeah.
But Aoki's great. You know, some up and coming guys like John Summit. You know,
Yeah.
some of the guys.
You know who? You guys know who Fred again is?
Yep.
I've been hearing that. I've been hearing him. Right? Was
Him. It's a him. It's a him.
See,
Was
that's
he in Philly recently?
So I think, but yeah, I think he's he's British or something.
I don't know. I
He's foreign.
played in North Jersey a month ago, and everyone was like, "Fred again, Jungle." I'm like, I don't know what you're saying, but I'm sure it's a song.
So there, I think he's over. He's over in like the UK, I think.
Yeah.
To be honest, and so I watched his set at the Boiler Room.
faster, right? It's faster.
Yeah, so he has like a Ableton Live pad that helps us like play and go play like the drums and the hits
That's dope.
for like certain songs.
Yeah.
But I know it's so weird because like I was watching his set and he has people all crowded around him and it's just like people supposedly he creates that feeling and like helps people who suffer from like anxiety and stuff like that.
Well, the Boiler Room sets are molded for seeing that specific person.
Yeah.
Because it's that intimate setting. Like,
Yep.
you know, if Smooth did a Boiler Room, it'd be literally his closest friends.
Yeah.
All hovered around him. It's kind of like that.
I was watching. I'm like, dude, why are these people are so close? I remember one guy accidentally turned his song off. He played it off really well, but I was just like, I'd be like,
check more of those Boiler Room sets out. They're really sick.
Yeah,
You know, the dopest of the dopest DJs pull out their cool shit because it's that intimate of a party.
yeah, I think it's really neat.
Yeah, it's cool.
And they all do a phenomenal job too. And I've started to like kind of learn, like I've watched like a little bit of Skrillex and like he does like the way he transitions songs and you learn a lot.
Yeah.
So like who else? So you look up to Tiesto, obviously, right? Eddie, who do you look up to?
Honestly, all those guys. I mean, in terms of like playing all the EDM and house music stuff that I still do to this day when it was popular in 2013.
Right.
It's like that really like I was mostly like hip hop and like wedding style. It was never like EDM or 128. If you asked me in 2011 how many house songs I had, you would have fucking laughed at me.
Yeah.
It was like Love Is Gone, like Cascada.
You think like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But like the Chucky era and like TJR, like all those guys that can manipulate hip hop with the new current music was always cool to me because like I'm an open format like connoisseur, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
I can't imagine doing a gig and not only playing one style of music the entire time.
Yeah.
Now I can, but like
yeah. But that's how you got to start though. Back then, you just got to just play whatever you like because that's how you find your genre.
You still do, and me and Smooth still have these kind of conversations. It's like even in Philly, how we like to maybe think that it's getting very hip hop driven and stuff like that. The music circles or cycles every 5 years to where we're talking about house acts right now. You just brought up John Summit, Fred again. You know, like this music is mainstream because look at the Spotify playlists and stuff. How many listens there are? Like it exists.
Yeah.
It's just us as DJs in Philly who are supposed to be the most talented in the country. Should be pushing this stuff,
right?
You know,
exactly.
And
Tech house has been big.
Tech is huge. You know, it's just people think that it's weird if they do it, if they play it. DJs, obviously, just do it and watch, and you'll be surprised how much it actually works out in your set.
Yeah, and I also think like sprinkle it in first and see how
Exactly.
people react. You know, because you might be surprised. And we've had conversations like even the other night at Vesper, I was playing all EDM. Like it's not always like that there. So to be able to dip into.
But why isn't it always like that there? And that's the question.
Right.
As other DJs think, like if we play a mixture of all this music all the time, we're these open format DJs, you know, why is there only one genre being pushed in the room?
Right.
You know, I understand you got to read the crowd and maybe the crowd has changed a little bit demographically, but it's just like sprinkle it.
But the kind of music that you play does bring in a certain crowd, though.
Sure.
And you can't deny that. You know?
Well, I've heard you play at Patty Wax, and it's all the bangers, Clarity, Titanium, yada yada. Like that stuff is perfect for there.
It never go away.
It never goes away. It's timeless songs. Like, do it in any room and watch.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
They're not throwaway songs. They're timeless for a reason.
Exactly.
You know,
and
like,
especially for like an intimate crowd like that, they love that shit. And it's like
it saves you.
It does. It does. And you know what's funny? Actually, I want to thank Eddie a lot for inspiring me because I remember when I first talked to you about a year ago. I didn't even really know. I didn't really mix. I mixed on a computer, right? So like that's what I was comfortable with. And he said, Kev, like if you really want to build yourself up, that's where you really gotta start like branching out. And I'm finding these crazy songs, and I'm able to like, and I invested in the Rain One, and then and I got very, very invested in it. And now I'm like, I did like the Ben Franklin Yacht, and I'm like playing these like different songs that we were just talking about, like the techno and the shit. And it's like, oh shit, like this is like a vibe. You start building that vibe. It's not all about the crazy hip hop hits. Like you can play I think the best DJs know how to mix all that stuff, you know, properly.
It makes sense, right?
Exactly. And it's like
4 hours is a long time to be DJing. So to know little things to, you know, set the tone and stuff. Not everything. A lot of DJs maybe will think that playing the top 100 the entire night is what's going to salvage the night.
I actually hate that shit, to be honest with you. And so I'm actually playing at Noto tomorrow, opening up for Joel Corry, which is exciting.
That's right. That's going to be dope.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
So let me give you some insight on that, because I've known a few DJs that have opened up for him. Did we do it? Yeah. Oh, we did it too. Oh my God.
You're one of them.
So I gave Smooth this too, because I think a week prior to that, he was at HQ in Ocean in Atlantic City. And my buddy DJ Cam, shout out to Cam, he's from North Jersey. He told me, because he saw that we were going to be there the following week. He was like, dude, he's like, I got the best news ever. Whoever was in touch with Joel Corry was like, Joel just wants the DJ before him just to rock out, like play for the people. There's no keep it at 123 beats per minute for an hour. You know, it's like rock out, because it's going to be busy, because you know Joel knows he packs it. You know what I mean? So like, don't overthink it.
Yeah, I'm trying not to.
Just we didn't. You know, like we threw the fuck down.
They told me open format, and I'm like, say no more. I'm like.
That was probably my funnest opening set for an artist.
He was like up on the stage hyping everybody up.
Really?
Oh yeah, I did everything but stage dive.
That's dude. I gotta see Eddie like that, because usually you're pretty chill. Like
I get into it, man. I get into it. Yeah, it's probably the Philly gigs you see me at.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
Well, hey, these are all great stepping stones, man. And look, not everything might not be the dollars and cents that you were expecting, you know, for your career base, but like it all leads to something, man. Realize how many people are going to be at that show tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Thanksgiving Eve.
Yeah. What?
I know. I got a table, and all my best friends are gonna be there. Like, I'm excited. But and kind of hitting back on what you were gonna like about your business. Like, so these gigs, it might not make a lot of money, but there's weddings. There's you do weddings, and not worried about the money. Honestly,
I would say, and also, like, even if you prep your set, be prepared to go off script. Like, don't be afraid to play, you know, different things based on how you read the crowd. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
Like I played with Pauly, I guess, a year ago.
Yeah,
I was overthinking it.
Oh, did you?
And Eddie's like, just do your thing.
Yeah, and he smashed.
Yeah,
I
did you?
Like all throwback.
That's so sick.
Because it worked out.
Because you know what the thing is too. Like you don't want to play something like you want to stay away from like the crazy bangers. I feel like you don't want to does that make sense?
But I know Joel. So we have literally great insight for you, because we've been there.
I would love it.
He shocked a lot of people at the Ave, because not shocked. What's the best way to describe it? It's like everyone knows Head and Heart. Everyone knows his hits. Obviously, but he does such a tech house set.
He does,
that like a lot of it could be just non-vocal, and you know his sets are good, and you know he could be improving himself every time he plays as well. Right. So, but like, don't expect to hear like Clarity and Titanium and stuff. No. You could bang all those out for that entire 25 minutes or 30. How long are you playing? An hour?
40 minutes.
My only advice would just don't play any of his songs.
Don't play any of his songs.
Yeah, that's the one thing they did tell me. I'm like, absolutely not. I know that. Like,
because I've heard horror stories where people who are really into seeing the headliner, and they're like a tech house DJ, and the opener is playing all tech house. Yeah. It's like just a full night.
Because I think my job's gonna be playing music to get them ready for it. It doesn't have to. I think in the grand scheme of things, as long as I have good energy with the music, and it's not just stuff that he's gonna be playing, I think it'll be fine. You know?
I wouldn't even. I would even go and say drop down to 100 beats per minute and play play a few, and then bring it back up.
Party up in here, all that.
Yeah. Little Kanye and shit.
Yeah, sure.
I think no. Actually, I lied. But I was gonna ask you. So, what's like the craziest like set you've ever played? Like, what venue?
I think I have to go with Baltimore at Power Plant. I did like a Moonrise after party. I guess it was right before COVID.
Okay.
I did it 2 years in a row. I think you were there. Remember Kavion? Remember that?
Who?
I thought I could swear you played like at Mosaic.
No.
Okay.
I was just there, and that was my first time there.
Gotcha.
I was there with Pauly. Yeah.
So
Dope out there.
it was a Moonrise after party. You can imagine the crowd that we have.
Yeah.
Everybody's like like raging face.
Yeah.
So I did like a dubstep / trap / EDM. Like I played everything.
Damn.
And people were just going nuts.
Yeah.
So I played for like 2 hours in the alley
Oh, dope.
at a power plant. So it's a cool like area, but it's actually owned by the same people that own Xfinity, but it goes straight back to the entrance.
That's pretty cool.
Dude, all the Xfinity properties throughout the country are insane.
Nuts.
Really? So it's they're obviously they're not all called Xfinity. They're just different.
KC Live, Kansas City Live.
Oh wow.
Power
They're all
Plant
live
Live.
at the end,
They're all
right?
live at the end.
Oh, really?
Same logo. Yeah.
Wow. That's
Xfinity Live.
That's
yeah.
probably nuts.
Xfinity, obviously, because of the cable company.
Right. So would you guys? I know you're with Pauly all the time, but
Mm-hmm.
would you ever be able to play at those places? Like still, like could you like travel out there and shit? So would
Mm-hmm.
they cover like your expenses and all, like for like a hotel and shit?
I think it depends on the situation, but sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it just really, like I said, it depends.
That's how you set it up. Yeah.
If you're out there doing something, you can double up on gigs in a different city.
Right. That's pretty cool. I actually wanted to ask you. I haven't really been able to talk to you about this, but I know you were playing at JJ's and Neo was there.
Yeah.
How was that?
Oh, that was awesome.
That looked
Hell
really, that looked really cool.
Yeah, it's funny because he had. I mean, when was the last time he had a song out? Not to like start it with a downer that he hasn't had anything out, but he did a show in the Man Center, and I guess whatever connection he had with JJ's with the owner, they were like, "Yo, like I'll pay you to like come in like throw down." He's like, "All right." And normally, most artists they come in just to show face and they don't really get on the microphone.
like a host.
He's like, "No." He's like, I'll do a set. So I already knew that going in. And he came in. They had the whole stage. Have you been to Bootleggers?
So I've been there once or twice.
Okay, so
yeah.
they had the whole like stage area next to the DJ booth set up.
Yeah.
As soon as he walked in, I gave him the microphone, and he's like, "DJ, cut the music." I was like, "All right, well, like, I already have a Neo crate ready. Like, I mean, it's Neo. Like, I know all his songs, but like, let me have something prepared." He's like, "I want to see if these people know who I am." And to think about that, JJ's is very 21, 22.
Young, yeah.
So, I mean, if he didn't have a song out in 5-6 years, everyone's 14, 15, you know what I mean? And like, Give Me Everything was what year? And that was his biggest hit, 2012?
Yeah.
13, 14?
Yeah,
Oh, probably
well,
14.
You might be all right.
Christ, that was 8 years ago.
The crazy Pitbull.
So for him
era,
to say that, it's like he knew, he understood the assignment. He was like, yo, I know this is like a younger crowd in here. And I put on Give Me Everything. Obviously, everyone sang it. And he goes, all right, DJ, stop it. He's like, let's give him one more. And I'm like, fuck, another one? So I gave him Closer. I just kept it up tempo.
Such a good song.
Such a good song. Older than Give Me Everything as well.
Yeah.
But they're timeless songs.
They are. That's
so
the thing.
I
Yeah.
like to think I bailed him out because I could have did like She Know.
So sick or something.
So Sick. Yeah. But She Know, that's 70 beats per minute, like, which is a fire song.
Yeah.
And it was a chart hit, but it was still like not as popular as like,
Closer is like 120. That's
yeah, it was right
upbeat,
there. Yeah.
Yeah. I love playing
So I think
that.
I did my due diligence and it worked out pretty
dude,
well.
I mean, I saw your like videos on like Instagram and shit. I'm like, holy shit, he's right next to Neo.
Yeah,
that's
it's
pretty
super cool.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, we took a photo and everything. It was cool.
That's really neat.
His Smooth's following is incredible. Like I'm even friends with a lot of them now because from being friends with him. They're awesome.
But that's what I'm amazed at is that, like I said, you're a man of few words, but you have a great following. You have a very loyal people who follow you and appreciate and come out and see you. I mean, what do you think has contributed to that?
I think the way that I handle myself, but also the way I treat people.
Right.
Yeah.
I treat people with respect. It's huge, but
He's very hospitable while
Yeah.
he's even DJing in front of a ton of people.
All right.
I try to, and I even just from a DJ standpoint, like I try to put not just my friends on, but anyone that's a dope DJ, like try to put people on. So like our community comes out, which I'm super grateful for, especially recently. I feel like a lot of the DJs that we know will come to Barstool or wherever it is.
Sure.
you know?
Yeah.
I still got to check it out, actually. I haven't been there yet.
Oh yeah, no, it's a
Yeah.
good vibe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
it's
go-
cool.
go see
I mean, I
it.
just saw Smooth at the Winston. He was DJing during the Eagles game,
Yeah.
and he knows I could walk into the Winston and go and grab a drink because I know the bartender and come right over and hang out with him.
Right.
I dabbed him up. He's like, "Yo, you want a drink? Can I get you anything?" I'm like, no, stay right there.
Yeah. Do your job.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's, things like that separates him from
Yeah, because like I said, I was very curious about it because I mean, it seemed like you're a very nice guy. Like you're awesome. And I met you in passing at Ladder like a few years ago, like just casually. But it's just funny because I would see you and I'm like, damn, like people love this guy. Like you know what I mean?
Just tell me he doesn't look approachable.
If you look at his flyers, you would say no, but no, dude. Like I said, like it's awesome. It's cool to see. You know what I mean?
I was kidding, by the way. You're very approachable.
So getting into like your family. So you have siblings and family. Like do they come out and see you play at all?
It's funny you asked that. Yeah. Well, my sister's 24, so she comes out a good amount. But actually, my first ever like public gig, it was actually right out of college. I did. I don't even know if you know this. I rented out Blur nightclub.
Okay.
And like sold tickets. Like I thought I was a shit. Obviously,
you have to have a bit of ego, right?
Yeah.
Especially starting out.
Yeah. I like failed miserably, and my parents were like, they came, they supported me, everything, and they always have supported my business. But it was like a complete flop. Like there was like 30 people that came out, and like I almost gave up a little bit. But as far as like support goes, yeah, my family, like they come to my tailgates. They come once in a while. They'll come to a bar gig. Like they came to see the Eagles game at the Winston.
That's really cool.
But yeah, they've been always super supportive.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's really cool. So talking about your first gig, so when you said it flopped, like how old were you when that happened? You're like what,
22.
22.
Yeah.
So after that, so were you like, you felt very discouraged? Like was it a bit of like a humbling experience?
Absolutely.
Bit?
Yeah. And I like to think of,
you bought out the club.
Basically, yeah. It was like
It's gangster.
How much money did you lose? That's a real question. You know what I mean?
$2,000.
Did you?
Oh my goodness, really?
Wow.
Where's Blur Night? What?
I don't even remember.
Are they
It's
even-
in Philly?
Is it
Or
a
was
thing?
in Philly?
Not anymore.
Yeah. Huh, I'm trying to think.
I mean,
It was actually super humbling, but kind of, like I laugh at it now because I'm like, why did I do
Yeah,
that?
hey.
I mean, nah, but you got to do those things. I remember, I don't know if I told you this, Ed, but my first gig, I was 16, and I was DJing a Sweet 16 for some girl on my sister's basketball team. And it was at like the YMCA. It was for all of her friends. And I had like two crappy speakers because it was my first gig, and my cousin hooked me up. I had an amp that I had to carry, my mixer, like it was just a lot. And the aux cord broke. So I had to hold it in a certain way the entire night. It's a 4-hour party. And so anytime I slipped up, it went, and it would go nuts.
A lot of feedback.
Yeah, exactly. So like, and I had kids come up to me and go, yo, can you play my song on SoundCloud? So I'm like saying yes to everything. So I'm downloading SoundCloud songs while my hand's here. And I'm like,
no.
It was just the worst experience of my life. And I didn't get paid for it.
Right.
You know, if the girl didn't pay me. Yeah, I think every DJ needs like experiences like that.
And that's any life experience,
Exactly.
any business. Like if you don't fail, I feel like or have some sort of adversity, you're not going to make it that far.
Is there anything outside of DJing that you've had adversity from?
Yeah, I think just life in general. I mean, I almost failed out of college when I was in college.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
What was your major?
I switched it like 3 times. I had business management, then it was marketing, and then sports management.
Okay.
So,
And so, did you end up graduating?
yeah, I did.
Congrats.
Yep.
So do you find yourself using that now or no?
No.
No.
Nope.
Yeah.
Well, sports management. I mean, I will say I used my people skills
Right.
a lot that I learned in college, like how to deal with certain people, how to manage my time. I think was a big thing, but
Yeah.
really just being a man.
Yeah. So if you weren't DJing, what would you be doing, you think?
Probably some kind of sales, I would say.
Yeah.
Because I've always like flip-flopped with sales jobs. I've always had like some sort of side gig with DJing. So
Right.
He's good at it. He always tells me I'm getting cheesesteaks at the end of the night.
Dude, I mean,
Is that a fat joke?
yeah, I mean, dude, Steve's is good, man. Dude,
I
Steve's
usually go to Oregon.
Yeah, we go to Oregon because it's like right.
Okay, yeah.
It's like relatively close to the city.
Yeah. Fair. So where are you at? Are you in the city?
I'm at the in Northern Liberties,
Okay.
Poplar Building.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I moved here like a little over a year
It's
ago.
only 5 minutes from here.
No, yeah, that's
Yeah, I live so much closer now than last year.
Well, that's the best. That's the
Yeah.
best about having like you guys on the pods. Like it's just like I'm like it's like a good location. I feel like it's
it's
not
great.
I'm not in like bumblefuck or whatever.
That's why we got here so early.
I know,
I was
yeah.
so used to it being a half-hour drive.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, we're only 8 minutes away from Smooth's house.
That's awesome. Wait, so have you moved since?
July, I moved to Brewery Town.
Oh, that's right. You were saying that you were actually. I think you might have been in the process of moving.
Yeah, I think we were getting to the point where we were getting like pushed out because our lease was our rent was
it's going up. Yeah.
So that was actually crazy, but it worked out so well to be over there. Yeah, it's dope.
So I guess kind of asking both of you, do you guys see yourselves DJing in Philadelphia forever? Like, or is that like a part of your plan right now? I don't know if you guys I know you're traveling all the time, so what I'm saying, like, I guess for you too, like, do you see yourself playing more like gigs around the country?
A little bit of both. I love Philly, so Philly's home for me. But as far as like a vision that I have, I think it's more about potentially ownership of a nightclub or expanding my wedding business
for sure
and nightlife. So I think I definitely want to stay in Philly for now.
I'm a really firm believer that since I've always lived every year DJing, being like, I don't know what 5 years is going to look like. Every year has always progressed. It's changed.
Especially recently.
The only downwards. My life has completely changed, and I love it. You just don't know. You create your own destiny. Right. It's like, be a good person, have a good work ethic, and still love DJing. And like, you don't ever need to stop. There's always going to be a home for you to some capacity. Right. Listen, 60 years old, nobody's going to want to do anything. You know what I mean? Like, I would like to think.
For sure. Yeah, but that's cool, and it's the third time you actually said it tonight. So I'm actually like thinking about it. It's very true, you know. And something I've learned is that like in 6 months your entire life can change, and it's happened.
I mean, look at COVID.
Exactly.
Especially the DJ community. Yeah, I mean, it pretty much wiped me out completely.
What were you doing during that time?
Honestly,
a lot of Monopoly and life and
a lot of I did a lot of live streams, but I really worked on like. Organization of a lot of the tools that I use from a like management standpoint for a lot of my gigs, but I was also trying to figure out if I wanted to keep doing it because I didn't we didn't know when it was.
It's so messed up. I thought about working for Amazon or like UPS.
Really?
Because I was so used to driving around all my gigs. I'm like, I just want to be out of the house.
There wasn't much to do as far as like working. Like it was all had to give everybody their money back. It was. Weddings were canceled, gigs were bar gigs.
I still told myself like I want to work, but like I don't want to be inside an office still. Like I just told myself no office.
You thought DJing was gone forever.
Yeah, I mean we touched on that briefly a little bit, but like almost after the first year, I mean I wasn't struggling financially, fortunately, but I'm like, what if this keeps going? Like, what if bars are always just the seated arrangements and
dude, that was the worst.
The rent always or the payment for the DJs always went low. You know the cost of the gig.
Yeah, where were you? Were you playing at all? Where like anywhere when it was like just seated, like both you guys? Like where were you guys playing?
I'll never forget, man. It was I was at City Tap House for a St. Patty's party.
Okay.
And I like heard people like rumblings of this is the last weekend. That, like, that we're gonna be playing. It's gonna shut down for 2 weeks or whatever they say.
However long, yeah.
And all of a sudden, that was it for like obviously a year and a half, I guess.
But during COVID, did you have any gigs where there was
like workarounds and
Ladder 15?
Ladder.
Yeah. But they honestly like, I feel like they were doing it upstairs, and it wasn't like a in your face. Like it was kind of just like whoever feels comfortable.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Come out, or like there were plenty of places stretching the needle.
I know.
But at the same time, though, like, can you blame?
No.
Certain businesses, that's their livelihood.
Yeah, they did whatever they could to follow the rules, but still stay open.
You still bend them a little. You have to.
So that's what was crazy about some of the places, like Kiss Kiss nightclub in Atlantic City in the Tropicana. They started doing DJs, but they brought in tables. Right. They brought in like lawn chairs from like people's backyards. Just
no way.
Because they couldn't get it from anywhere else. They couldn't ship anything, so they just literally asking employees to bring in whatever they had in their backyard or something. Yep. And
that's
so
insane.
There was like different fold out tables, anything to create a table section, and they were selling bottles. So people were coming in like
get bottle service at a picnic table.
Yeah, it literally was like that. I'm not no exaggeration, Kev.
Wild,
like
man.
It was like that, and people were spending bottle prices to sit there, and you couldn't stand up. You weren't allowed. There was security that told you to sit down. And we're DJing like it's a nightclub. It's
right?
so
like
strange.
how does that affect you guys when you're playing?
It was awkward.
Weird, right?
Awkward.
So I DJ'd a bar called Patty Wax on Welsh. Like that used to be like my home. Like I was like you show up all the time. My Sundays we were always there. Mm-hmm. During COVID, we had like those tables you have to sit at a bar. Like, it was awful. And then they eventually got to the point where they shut the blinds and everyone. It was a speakeasy. Like it turned into a speakeasy.
I've been there for it. Yeah.
Oh my god, it is so fun. And
Everyone broke the rules as well.
Yeah, we got shut down.
Not everyone, but
we used to have state troopers come in like twice a week or twice a month, whatever. Shut it down. But
I've gone through the back entrance in certain places. I won't say where, but you know,
you have to bend the rules.
If I was a bar owner during that time, you know, not like I said, it wouldn't be in your face, but it would be. I got to do what I got to do for my family.
You have to,
my livelihood, and you know, you work. There's a lot of small businesses that lost everything,
went under,
shut down, that people don't really talk about as much, but that ruined a lot of people's like hard work and you know,
unreal.
Yeah.
Man.
10, 15 years of financial, you know, commitment to a business, and then all of a sudden it's wiped away.
It's just gone. Yeah, that was really cool what Portnoy was doing for a little while when he was giving those businesses money and funding them.
Yeah,
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, they raised a lot of money.
Yeah, insane. And so you mentioned family. Do you see yourself? I don't know if you have a girlfriend now. Like, what's you're just you're just chilling.
Yep.
So like, do you see yourself having a family eventually? Like,
Absolutely.
Is that a goal?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in the cards.
Yeah. Okay. I had to ask. You know, you never know.
It's one of my goals, but it has to be the right situation. Like,
Right.
I've learned over the years that has to be like someone that supports my vision.
For sure.
You know, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to be DJing in nightclubs till I'm 50, but I'll do what I got to do.
Right. So you like, how important is that for people in your corner? Obviously, to see your vision, but to like enhance that or to help you with your life. Like, like imagine having a girlfriend. Like, because I can understand how. You know, and what's really cool is Ray is very supportive of you, which is very, very cool to see that. And I'm like, damn, like that's a standard that I kind of see as to have a girlfriend for me, as someone who supports that. Like, how important is that to you? Like,
I mean, that's a hell of an example because she's like one of the homies. But
yeah.
As far as that goes, I would love a girl that.
Yeah,
a girl like Ray, you could say it.
Say it.
And she always comes out. She likes the music.
Yeah, I noticed that. I thought that was very nice. It was very cool.
I'm lucky, man, in that regard.
Yeah,
really
for sure.
I thought it was really cool.
But I don't necessarily look for that or need something like that. But yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, and so for your goals, where do you see where would you like to be in? Let's just give you like 5 years. Where would you like to be career-wise in 5 years?
I mean, I think Eddie hit on it really good. Is there's not necessarily a specific example I can give you because things change so quickly.
Right.
Even within the last 6 months, I've picked up multiple accounts as far as like I thought I was just going to start doing weddings.
Right.
And now the nightlife stuff's taking off. I'm traveling.
Yeah.
So I don't really have a specific example that I can give you. One of the guys that works for me actually asked me the same question. Yeah. But I can tell you that in the next 3 to 5 years, I feel like traveling to play in different cities is important to me. I want to expand my wedding business, and I would like to own some sort of ownership in a nightclub or a bar.
That'd be pretty cool. But so what would you? And I guess I'll ask you this too. You played everywhere, but there has to be the gig that leads you to being like, what now? Like, what's that ultimate gig that you have? And also, I'll ask you first, and I'll ask you after, Ed. What do you have, like, that ultimate?
I think, for me, it was when I opened for Aoki at Noto.
That's sick.
That was fun. I think you guys were there.
Maybe.
We had like a whole section next to us, but getting to set the energy before him was super cool. And that was one of my favorite events.
That's really cool.
Like I got to actually bullshit with him after the gig, so that was super cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I think for me, that was a wake up call to, like, which I've been actually trying to work on now. Is I want to make my own music. So I think.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
To me, like, not that it answers the question you asked, but as far as like that, to me, that's what's next for me.
Yeah, it kind of does answer because I was thinking as I asked it, I'm like, oh wow, obviously there's like Tomorrowland and there's these festivals and some of them require you to have your own music. So it's kind of a natural progression. Yeah. Is that the same thing for you, Ed?
It's kind of become a standard for leveling up. Yeah, for yourself as a DJ, whether you're open format or not. I mean, it's like having a hit song and then boom, you get like look at A Craze. He had one song. And now he could do a whole set anywhere and everywhere of other people's stuff that's in the same vein as his stuff. Exactly. And then he could end his night with his own song, and then boom, he crushed. So it is very valuable and important to definitely make original music, which was never a thing 10 years ago or so.
Yeah, I feel like it's more of a thing now, right?
It's very prevalent. Yeah, which is it's true and it sticks.
It sets you apart.
Definitely sets you apart.
At the end of the day, we're all playing the same music.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just how you deliver it, and so. But I actually wanted to ask you this: Ed. We talked about inspiration earlier. Like, what from Pauly D do you take from him that you take to your for your own career?
I mean, there's always a smile on his face, man. You know, it's like buyers and club owners love to have him because I'm going to say we because I'm working with him now. But
I mean, you guys
we're easy to deal with. We're easy. Like I can't tell you how many times that people, because I'm in the club before he is for sound check and even before he even walks in to hit play, that like the people that are like our liaisons and stuff like that, they're like, you guys are incredible. You guys are so easy to work with because it's just the work ethic is not the work ethic, but like his loyalty is there because he likes to come back to these same places and he kills it. Obviously. So what I take from him is just his consistency. If you like it, don't stop.
Right.
Don't let anybody else steer you in another direction if you like what you're doing right now.
Right.
I mean, that's pretty much it. It's just he's such team positivity and like that's all we want instead of having anybody kind of telling us different. You know what I mean? Like any kind of weird negative energy, which as you grow, you will see, you will have haters, you will, things of that nature. It's just avoid it, follow your own path. There's a reason why you are where you are right now, don't let anybody else steer you away from that. Yeah. And I'm still learning that. And I think I think it's been very prevalent and great this past year or two since the pandemic of like, good guys always win. I'm not calling myself a good guy or anything, but like,
I think we can say that you have
positivity prevails over anything.
It does.
Else.
It really does. Yeah, I've never had a bad interaction with you. Like you're you're awesome to be around, and I can imagine Pauly the same way just from even watching the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
positivity and collaboration too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Work with good people.
Work with good
DJs
and be a good person, right?
Of course. Yeah.
Like I said, I was asking first, and then I'll ask you. Like, when do you think you found your lane?
I think right before COVID, I started to make a lot of progress. So I like double dipping, like I said, with the weddings, the nightlife, and
it's a nice balance. Yeah,
but I think right before COVID, and I think it's super important to stay in your lane and not worry about other people.
Yeah,
as far as like not even just DJs, just in general. Yeah, kind of like focus on what you can control.
Yeah. So what high school did you go to actually?
Went to Tenet.
Tenet, okay. So growing up, going to Tenet, you obviously didn't know you wanted to be a DJ then, right? Yeah. So did you ever find yourself like in those moments, like having people? Were you ever bullied? Were you ever like made fun of? Like, was there shit you ever went through like that?
Other than I had these big ass buck teeth. Other than that, not really.
You grew into them.
Yeah, I don't really put up with anybody's shit. So
right.
I never really got bullied.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually. What about you, Ed? Do you ever have that?
Bullied, yeah, growing up. Not in high school so much, but like, yeah, I had some effed up teeth.
Yeah. So like, and then finding your
nose, pig nose, I always got bullied. Shit like stupid shit like that growing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but you got nothing else better to talk about.
I changed schools in high school, so like I was a new kid going into my high school, like relatively new. But
yeah, I mean, dude,
that was always weird.
I've learned that. And I wish every kid could just hear this is like at the end of the day, we're all gonna be in the same fucking position when we're out of school.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like I find that I remember I was in high school, like I wasn't really bullied, but I also never really feel like I fit in per se. Like I was like president of my class, basketball. I was all this shit, and it's like stuff that isn't like a usual Northeast kid would be doing. Like usually it's cool to like be like drinking in the woods or do some shit like that. But I just found myself like thinking I never fit in. And then like out of school, you kind of don't have as many quote unquote friends in your neighborhood because you are different. But to me, I felt like since I've like really started to like believe like in myself and focus on myself, I found like my lane. You
attract good people too.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's huge. Your energy that you give out.
I don't think you find yourself in high school. I think you do the most to be able to fit in. And
there's some people that peaked in high school.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I never wanted to be that, man. Like that's but I just find that interesting and it is so true. Like when you start like just really putting in like effort towards yourself, you attract those right people.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
You know.
College is what really like started me up as like a person. Like
yeah.
high school was like going through the motions with like your friends that you grew up with still, and like maybe some came in, some left a little bit.
Exactly.
But then college is really where it was like, yo, like guns blazing, and obviously that's where I found DJing immediately.
Right. Yeah. So when did you start DJing?
As soon as I got the Rutgers.
Really?
We spoke about this a little bit.
Yeah.
But it, literally, I think I went to my first frat party. When we go to school? Beginning of September. End of October, I was already DJing frats.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
And I started with just a laptop, just like you did.
Yeah.
Or you did. I forget.
Yeah, I know I did. I was so like my cousin had me on a mixer using Versatile DJ, and I was like, oh, this is great. And then I'm like seeing what everyone's doing in the city. I'm like, oh, actually, like, wait, what the fuck am I doing? Like, let me like not do this anymore.
I used to piss my roommates off in college. I'd be up to like.
Really?
All my roommates loved it.
Music.
That's
all my
sick.
roommates
well,
loved
if you're good, like if you're good,
they were the one that helped me get my DJ name. Like they helped me a ton with that. My buddy Jim, he was my roommate.
that's really cool.
So yeah.
Yeah. So wait, where did Smooth come from?
I knew he was gonna ask me.
Yeah.
I had to, right? I had to. Come on, man.
Honestly, I used to be just like nickname was just Smooth.
Okay.
Because I'm super calm and collected.
So I was gonna write you an intro, and I was gonna put that in the part of the intro. You get his name. I'm like, wait, I gotta make sure like that. I know where his nickname.
You would have been spot on.
I
You
know.
just went with how
I know.
you know.
Yeah, I think just that, and I just kind of went with it.
Yeah.
DJ Smooth.
It works.
It's got to piss a lot of people off how cool and calm he is.
It's like no, it's
Like the wrong people is pissed off by it.
It's well, I mean, then dude, like,
really phases me.
but it's just like fuck them, right?
Like,
Like,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Stay
yeah,
even keel, man.
Yeah.
So like I guess, do you have anyone in your life, in your personal life, and like I said, Eddie, I'll ask you this too. Is there anyone in your personal life that you feel like has ultimately led you to where you are today in terms of your success?
I would say maybe my parents, but my dad in general, because he's got like a really super strong work ethic.
Okay.
And that's why I feel like part of the reason for my success. I've watched him grow. He has a contractor business, so I watched him grow that over the years. I used to go out with him and see how he talks to people, see how he works.
Okay.
And he still does it. He's like 62 years old. So
That's
he's
wild,
still
man.
That's
climbing
awesome.
under
I respect
sinks,
it.
doing some crazy
Wow.
shit.
That's awesome.
But I've always like thought that I can always do better because of him. So
That's awesome. And so like you felt like your dad's been a huge role model like for you in your life.
for sure, he's always been super positive about even when like I fail. He's like, just keep going. So
That's awesome. So he was very supportive of like your DJ career and that's awesome.
yeah, I mean, even recently when I had a couple of sales jobs, he's like, you don't seem happy. So
Yeah.
I just gave it up and just went full time with this.
Yeah. How important do you guys think, and I'll go back to the question, but how important do you think it is to like find what makes you happy? Like, was there ever a point in your life where you weren't happy and you just like knew like
Yep.
Yeah.
It's very important, and I know that a lot of people struggle with the anxiety, everything. It's life, it's not easy, but I think even if it means less money, I think your happiness is number one. So
Right. Is there times in your life where you felt like you've really gone through that mentally, where you were like in a rut, or you had you felt a lot of mental anxiety?
COVID for sure. Like I
Yeah.
said, I mean, I had to basically shut down my whole business, and
Right.
my whole life. So.
Right. How did you get through that? What steps did you take? I mean, I know we talked about like doing those clubs where you had to fucking literally sit in lawn chairs, but like I'm talking about like when you're at home.
Mentally?
Yeah, when you're at home, you're in your room.
Yeah. I did a lot of binge watching TV shows. Like I binged the whole Sopranos in like a month. Ozark. Like I would watch a lot of TV, which I don't get to do very much now.
Right.
Because I mean, we're on the go a lot.
Yeah.
But I think just trying to like figure out what I really wanted to do, and I knew it's always been my passion to DJ. So and
absolutely.
run my business. So it's knowing that that's what I really wanted to end up doing kind of helped me get through it.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So yeah. So Ed. So, who did you say was like a super important role model to you in your life?
Super easy. It's definitely my dad.
Yeah.
He still to this day, he has, ever since I was born, we worked 2 jobs, 2 full-time jobs.
Wow.
He's only home like Wednesday nights and Sunday afternoons.
You guys still have a good relationship?
Yeah. I mean, did I see him more than an average father would? No, but that was fine.
Yeah,
It's totally fine. He was a great father, but his work ethic is just insane. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like, how could me being a graduate at Rutgers to then me wanting to DJ, it's like, how do I make this into something where I I know my dad's work ethic, but it's only DJing. So like, how do I really like push it? So it's really where like I look at, if I'm working Thursday, Friday, Saturday, how can I work Wednesday and Tuesday? Yeah. It's like I wanted to, because I love DJing so much. So it's like there was times like where the anxiety kicked in where I was like, I'm only working Friday, Saturday all month, and like I want to do more, but I don't have the outlet for that.
Right.
So like I'm home and I'm like freaking out about it. Feel like I'm letting my parents down. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, you put me through school, but I'm only working 8 times a month. But like the money was a little better than your average. You know, all those things are going through my head where I'm like,
you want to maximize it.
I'm not doing enough. I want to work as hard as my father did. You know what I mean?
For sure. So how did you combat that? Like defining the Tuesday, Wednesday.
It's so strange because a lot of it kind of just falls at your fingertips too. Right. It's like we always preach networking. The DJs who are older than the younger guys, you know, asking this question, like, you know, like yourself, it's just like the out of sight, out of mind's a real thing. You know, if you're not around, it's almost like you're that replaceable. But if you're just connected with the right people, you're hanging out, if you're given that opportunity, that's where Smooth just said, like, perfecting your craft to where you are that ready for that opportunity. Anytime I was given an opportunity to play a really big nightclub in my eyes at the time, I was more than excited and couldn't sleep the night before. Not nervous. I was ready to do it. You know, if you're nervous about doing it, of course you have the butterflies. I still get them. I have them every night.
Yeah, just be prepared, right?
Just being prepared. And it happens again, and it'll keep happening. People like to see something good, you know, good music. They like to hear a good DJ. It only makes the person booking you that much more intrigued to do it again, because it's just easy to call Kev again and be like, he killed it last time. Why the hell are we not having him again?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and that's where I just made myself completely available. Where was the hottest spot on a Wednesday? I went to it. Right, I was there. You know, the Thursday, what was the hottest spot? And it was a little different then. You know, I'm talking 10 years ago. You know what I mean? But make yourself available. Make yourself known. You know, I've told you, DMing is not maybe, you know, it's 100% successful. You know, being outside, I know it's a pain in the ass in the winter when it's cold. You don't feel like going outside, but it's like the more you're around, the more prevalent it is, you know, for you to get an opportunity. I was going and playing with Sat One at dusk on a Tuesday for free for the longest time. He was like, yo, come play. They always had 4 turntables set up. I'll make a long story short. And he would play the whole night, 5.5 hours. He's like, come and play the first 2 hours, bro. I want to hear you play. And I'm like, yes. What? I'll play 3. Shut up. You know, like, And it was just like that. I met the owner. That owner can go to another club. You know, just like with Ladder and working in Manayunk. Like, Smooth got tied into Ladder because he already knew working in Manayunk. It's all relative. If you work in nightlife, you're not leaving nightlife anytime soon. It's almost like your grandfather did, whether you like it or not.
Exactly.
You know? So to maintain those relationships, somebody from Patty Wax can go and get an opportunity in Center City. Who are they going to call? Is it you still, or did you quit? Or?
No. So actually, do you ever find yourself like being too comfortable, thinking to yourself that I should, you know, branch out, or do you ever feel like that at all, or no?
I think for me, there's always new spots opening. So it's always like a new challenge or a new venture opening up that you're gonna play at. Like there's a lot of new places opening in the next 6 months, which is cool. So
another good thing too is your consistency as a DJ, along with like with Smooth. It's like the confidence, or just maybe you'll just know that you'll get the call. So you know, you're sought after a little bit. You know what I mean? And that's where everything that we talked about ties into. Like, why are we calling Smooth? Why are we calling Kev? Well, it makes perfect sense why we're doing it. You know, why wouldn't we? It's making yourself that person.
The other thing I like to say is when you meet a new person, like someone like a Nine or myself, or Kurt or whoever, I feel like there's a lot of, and this is life too, but you don't just ask for something right away. Like if you have to build rapport with people.
Absolutely.
Or, you know, like I'm doing bookings for certain places now, and like I'll get people randomly just hit me up. Like I haven't spoken to you in 5 years. Like, why now? You know what I mean? So I always say is do it the right way, build rapport. You know, work with, like, just like you meet a new friend. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah,
not
exactly,
asking for
yeah.
a favor. You just
Yeah.
met them. You know?
No, exactly. Yeah, and it's
Look
fun-
how far you and I have come from the
I
year.
know.
I've seen you multiple times, and it's like we're boys. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly,
We see each other,
yeah.
it's good vibes.
Yeah, 100%.
Just be yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly, man.
And I would also say too, just take your time. A lot of people have the ability, not the ability, but a lot of people have crawled out of their bed and worked 3 nights a week. You know, I've seen it. I don't think that's very valuable. I don't think that's smart. I think you need to be patient, and if you make it your career right away, there'll be some months where you're like, I'm not making enough for myself.
Yeah, yeah.
You got to make sure you're ready to then make the money, because the money will come in. It's gonna happen. And I even think today's day and age where it's easy to get a gig faster than usual, just take your time. And you'll get the better stuff. The better gigs will come around.
I mean, it's just it's more important that I think having multiple streams of income is so important. Like I have a full-time job, like I do the nonprofit, like it's just like DJing on the weekends is like that's what my main used to be my main thing. Yeah. Then you gotta pay bills and shit now. So you gotta
you have a good work ethic, man.
Yeah.
And I mean that's obvious. It's apparent.
But I mean, I just find that and I know you guys can attest this, but like when you work, the universe works right before you. It's right, it's working right behind you. You know what I mean?
I think good things come to good people too. If you,
really
treat
does.
people nice and
for sure
with respect, and also like do the right thing. I feel like more times than not, you'll get rewarded eventually.
Yeah,
So.
for sure.
Nightlife works with a lot of negative people, and the positive ones are noticed. And the positive people do get the recognition that they deserve, and they work.
To someone who is looking to, and we'll generalize it. Someone looking to build a business. What are 3 pieces of advice that you would give, and both for you too, obviously. But what is 3 pieces of advice you would give to someone who's trying to build a business?
Any business or DJ business?
I want to keep it as general as possible, but if there's something in DJing that you want to add, for sure. But like if someone's trying to build a brand, we'll say
consistency, customer service, and you got to put the work in. I think those are the 3 things I would say.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's why he's DJ Smooth, right? That's why he's smooth.
I'd still be thinking about it. I mean, I'd have an answer, but it's incredible.
No, but it's true though, and anyone who's watching, man, like, dude, just fucking believe in yourself. I think that's the number one thing too. Like, I think all 3 of us like have in common. It's like at the end of the day, like you have a vision. You just gotta fucking believe in it.
Yeah,
right?
man.
You gotta stick with it.
Yeah.
People give up so quick.
Yeah, I saw Michael B. Jordan. He was on a podcast and he mentioned how he sees a lot of people, like actors specifically, because it's his area. He sees so many actors who quit right when they're about to reach it, right when they're about to get there. You know what I mean? So, I mean, if you could just keep pushing, you could be 9, you could be smooth. You know what I mean? So
it's incredible to go from having gigs as fun and all your friends going to it to like, it's a business. It's incredible.
It turns into that.
It's like I didn't ask for it, but like I wanted it. But it's so strange that it happened.
And I think it happens the right way, where it's like you have 30 people at your first gig, and then like now you have 300 people at your tailgate. Like it's just the natural evolution of fucking up, learning, and building off of that, and learning how can I market better, how can I network and find someone to make my flyers for me, or just shit like that, where it's just like. I don't know. It's crazy how it all happens. When you work, the universe works. I'm a sole believer in that.
Yes, man.
You know, but seriously, guys, thank you so much for coming on.
No problem, man.
Thanks for having me.
DJ Nine's first co-host. Was it his first time co-host?
I like this.
Hey, man, we can come back on too. You guys are always welcome. I would actually love to like do a podcast at like a restaurant or something like that. Somewhere I did one last week in Conshohocken, but if we could do something at like Barstool Sansom, I think that'd be pretty sweet, or something along those lines. Sure. I think it'd be pretty sweet to just go kick it for a little bit. You know?
Change the scenery up a little bit for yourself.
Yeah, I don't mind
You
packing.
gotta bring these couches up.
Dude, so fun fact real quick. So that couch used to be my best friend's couch back in Northeast Philly, and I used to come over all the time. I used to take the fattest naps on that couch. It's a comfy ass couch, man.
I tested that.
But seriously though, thank you all. And Eddie, thank you for coming on.
God, you're the man, bro.
Happy Thanksgiving. This will be out on the week of Thanksgiving, or the week after. So after, hope you guys all had a great Thanksgiving. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. But so I'm Kevin Nichols, DJ Smooth, DJ 9. Peace, guys. Peace.